Hey guys, welcome to my FN Scar rifle review and review of accessories that you can get for the Scar. So I made this video so kind of give my opinion on the Scar compared to different ARs and also all the different accessories you can get for it. I know when I was looking for accessories, I had a hard time trying to find like reviews of certain equipment that you can buy for it, and just was a hard time finding things. I mean, most stuff works for the AR that you would think would work for the Scar, but it actually doesn't. So I'll go over some of that, see what works pretty well. And so I'll start off with just a regular review of the Scar, which I'm not going to go into too much because it's like a bunch of reviews out there on just the Scar by itself. But I'll just say what I like about it. So I'm going to start from the rear. And most people don't really go over this, but you can actually remove the recoil pad by releasing this pin and pulling it off. Now, I guess it's good for possibly in the future. There might be different recoil pads that you can buy, but a nice feature is that there's a little storage area here, so you can probably fit two CR123 batteries. And I'm sure most of you know that the length of pull is adjustable with this button. There's 6 different adjustments that you can have. I personally keep it on 2. That's what fits my body the best. But it's always going to be different for everybody else. You could have it on the 6 for the shortest. Say you're going into a room and you need a shorter rifle, or you're clearing smaller areas, then that's what it's also good for. The cheek weld is also adjustable, which I like. I definitely need the higher cheek weld on this. And also a good thing is you can pull the rear side tip or aperture and it'll still fit, because there's this little slot right here that allows it to fit. So that's one thing I really like about this. The rifle also folds, which I don't really see myself ever shooting it while it's folded, which you can do, but it's more of, I guess, like a storage compartment thing, or if you really needed to conceal it within your car, or possibly like in a really thick jacket, it's possible. Moving forward, I do like how it's ambidextrous safety. It's not like I can really mess with it here, but it's good for left-handed shooters. But also, if you're going to switch and shoot weak side, then you can still control the safety with your shooting hand. Now, one thing I wish this did have was like an ambidextrous bolt release, which the ACR does have on the enhanced version. And I did try getting a battery assist lever to kind of fix that, but I'll go over that later, but that doesn't fit on this weapon. It does have ambidextrous magazine release, so I can release from here, and also from here if I need to, based on certain conditions. The charging handle is forward, which I do like, because I do like being able to still be on target and fix malfunctions, as opposed to trying to do it right here. You would have to move your face off the rifle and then charge your weapon. Also, it also works as a pretty good forward assist, so it's another thing to consider for that. The iron sights are pretty unique on this weapon. The rear sight has elevation and windage adjustments, which I like. And also the way it's shaped, it's kind of like a drum. I don't know if you can see it, but it kind of gives you a little bit more field of view as opposed to like the M16 or M4 charging handle style. Also, the front sight is windage and elevation adjustable, which I like also. And they both feel really durable. They don't feel cheap at all or anything. I know a lot of guys, when they compare the ACR and the Scar, they'll kind of get mad about how the ACR has like plastic sights and it seems cheap. Those Magpul sights. These feel really durable. They don't feel like they're going to lose their zero or anything. And they're adjustable to 500 yards. Don't know too much about flash compensators or whatever you want to call this, but when I do go to the range, it does sound a lot louder than most other 5.56. And the one time I did go to the range, I was shooting by a guy that had 22, and it scared everybody. Even though to me, it's a low caliber weapon, but he gets a lot of civilians. This is considered high powered. Whatever. So, but the recoil is really good on this, even though it is a little bit louder than most rifles. So that does it for just my basic review. The trigger is really nice too. I don't really know the sciences of triggers, but it's like a 2-stage or something like that. But I can definitely feel when it's going to break. Now I'm going to move on to the accessories you can get for the SCAR. I'll start from the rear of the rifle again. So first thing I replaced, or one of the things I replaced, was this latch for the stock. I guess the military was having trouble with these and they were breaking, because this is the original one and it's plastic, and this new one by Tango down is made from aluminum. So I guess once this breaks, the stock is pretty much useless, and essentially your rifle is pretty much useless after that. So I've got that replaced. The design on it is slightly different. This one's more like a plaid design, and then this one's more like a crosshatch design, which I kind of like the new one, but I think everybody's always going to like whatever is different. But it does feel a lot more sturdy. I'm kind of glad I replaced it. I was kind of iffy on spending like $60 just to replace a piece of plastic, but I think it is pretty worth it. The sling I have is a VTAC sling. I really like this sling. I'm a big proponent for 2 slings, or 2-point slings. I really hate 1-point slings, and 3-point slings are kind of get in the way a lot. So I like this because I can switch a lot of stances pretty easily. I can do a hasty sling, get into that really easily. I can stay at the alert if I need to sling it, so I can like work on a patient or something. It's that easy. If I need to switch back, it doesn't take too much long. I'm already supported with my sling. I can, hold like this pretty easily. I can even move to this if I need to get more of like a marksmanship type stance, whatever, with that V. But overall, I really like this. And you can have it tightened up. It's really adjustable, and it's even got a pad on it, but it doesn't feel too fat. It's not as fat as I like. I do like the limited edition, which only comes in black. It's got a better pull tab, and the pieces are made out of plastic, I believe. Or there's more pieces of metal in it, so I believe it's more durable. And I believe the padding is better on that, but it only comes in black. I have it on my other rifle, but I really wish it would come in like different colors, like multicam. Alright, the next thing is the EOTech Magnifier. It's the G23.FTS. It's a magnification of 3 power, and it really helps and complements this sight, which I'll go over pretty soon. But it's pretty easy to use. This lever right here will release it. It's pretty fast motion, and just putting it back in place is as easy as that. Now we'll move on to the EOTech Holographic sight. It's a EXPS3 TAC 4, which means it's got the bullet drop compensator in it. I believe it's only for 5.56, but I could be wrong about that. I'm not too sure. It's half a minute of adjustment. Most people complain that they can't see the dots, but I believe EOTech recommends that you need the magnifier anyways to see those individual dots. Otherwise, it's just going to look like one long post, which it shouldn't really matter if you're going to be shooting up close anyways, because that's what it's for. But if you're going to shoot farther away, I'd imagine you'd want magnification anyways. So I think it's just people just complaining about not getting the sight or spending the extra money for the magnifier. I've replaced the safety on this. These are Magpul safeties. I guess they were getting a lot of like letters or whatever saying that they wanted, from deploying units that were using the SCAR, that they wanted a different safety. They didn't really go into why, and I'm not too sure if this is really an improvement or the stock safety. So these are the stock safeties right there, and they're not bad at all. I don't think. Like, they've got a wide amount of surface area for your thumbs to hit them, and actually like when I use these, it kind of tear up my hands a little bit. I mean, maybe I have soft hands or some shit, but I've got like, you know, tears in my skin from, it also could be from constantly doing this at the range. But these do look sort of aesthetically better. It kind of depends. I mean, kind of going along the lines of when I got this, that you're just going to like what's different or whatever and unique and prefer that. But other than that, if you're really set on trying to change your safeties, go ahead. But if you don't, and don't really want to spend the money on it, don't. It's not that better. Next up is the Magpul. This was kind of a pain in the ass to put on because you have to change the, you have to cut off some of the tang of the lower receiver. These are mostly made for ARs and not really for scars. So there's tutorials on how to do that online, but it's not too hard. You just got to get a Dremel and saw off like about 1 millimeter of plastic off the tang. So, or you can adjust this, but I think it's better to do it to the actual rifle. But some guys are kind of afraid of damaging their rifles because that would be a costly repair. Next up that I replaced is the charging handle. This is the original charging handle. I believe a lot of guys like changing it because this piece right here is plastic. I'm not too sure if it really is. It feels like it's aluminum. But that's another thing, is I'm not a big fan of the reciprocating charging handle, but I've never had a problem with it. Like, it's never been an issue. Maybe I'm just worried over something that's not really important. But this new charging handle, it's kind of nice. It's angled, and with this setup, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to charge the charging handle all the way to the rear without bumping into this EOTech sight. So one benefit of this angled charging handle is it kind of moves the charging handle more into the middle of this space, whereas as opposed to really up close. Now you can angle it down or upwards, but in this situation, upwards might not even go back all the way, or it'd be really hard to charge all the way back. Like, I personally like to charge it like this. That's how I charge in the Marine Corps. But there's guys that do this. I don't like using fine motor skills during certain situations. So I've always trained like this, and it's a little awkward doing that. It might be a little bit easier if you can just get your fingers in there, but I'm not used to doing that. And the charging handle does also have like these little ridges that kind of grips better than the original little drum shape. However, the original charging handle does stick out farther than this. So that could be another issue to look at. There is another charging handle that's made out there that I really like. It's kind of like a hook, but it's not really mass manufactured. So you might have to look on like Gunbroker or some kind of specialty site to find one of those. Not too big of a deal, but these Magpul rail covers. I was looking for something that was rubber that would kind of like be anti-slip. I've seen them before, but I didn't buy them at the time. I really wish I did. And I was hoping Magpul's covers would be like that because they say they're rubberized, but they're just plastic, whatever. And they're a little bit hard to get off. Like, you need a tool to get them off. Whereas, I mean, some rail covers are like that anyways. But they're kind of nice. I kind of have sort of like a camouflaging, like a theme or whatever you want to call it. So I kind of like to mix up colors just to kind of break up the shapes. So the cool thing is, like, I just got different colors and kind of mixed up, you know, so you don't really see rail covers or whatever, even though I've got like a few pieces of black on here, but I guess it's less chance of seeing these black covers. I do like this extended rail also. It makes things a lot easier if I ever need like more attachments, which, I don't know, the rifle's starting to get a little heavy. I might get a pack 15 or something. Okay, next up is this angled rail extension. I like having flashlights more like lower so I can hit them with my thumb. So this has helped out a lot. I don't know what this brand is. It's either Daniel Defense or NC Star, but I know the M4 that I have overseas uses a G, G, and G, which is really nice. I think that G, G, and G is actually like kind of a better quality than this, but I haven't been able to find them online. So if you guys can find that, I would definitely get the G, G, and G. The SureFire that's on here, it's an M300 Mini Scout. There's also the M600, which is a lot bigger and I'm sure more powerful. This only uses one battery. I haven't had to change it yet, but it's really bright. I don't remember what the lumens or power of it is, but it's a pretty light flashlight. I like it a lot. It's a little pricey, and then if you go into the 600, that's even more pricey, but I mean, it's pretty bright. I do have another light that's brighter than this on the Vector, but this works pretty good for my all-around rifle. This Foregrip I really like, even though it's kind of like from a manufacturer that's not really that, I don't know, not too well known, I don't think, but I believe UTG makes it. But the thing I like about it, it comes in 5 different adjustments. So whatever the situation might be, I can adjust for that, and it's pretty simple. There's a little push button to change the different positions. If I need to use this as some kind of support, then I can set it to this position. I tend to have running on reserve battery power. I tend to have it on this position mostly. Just so I can kind of like hold it like this. I don't really like to actually hold it most of the time, but sometimes I will. But I'll usually generally, aim like this. So I use it more as a reference point. So that little angle kind of feels a little bit more comfortable. Once in a while, I will hold the foregrip like this, usually when I have to use a flashlight. Well, but most of the time I probably do this too. But there are times where maybe I do need to use that as support, but if I still need quick access to this foregrip, like I'd be able to do that. I don't ever really see a situation for this unless I was like using some kind of weird abstract looking object as a support, or possibly hooked onto something. And then this is the same thing, if I do need to go in like some kind of like marksmanship stance or whatever, I can stick my hand right here. Alright, now we'll go on to the different accessories that aren't really on the rifle right now. I really like these Magpul PMAGs, except they're not really made for the SCAR specifically. A lot of guys have problems doing speed reloads with them, or they don't drop very well. I haven't had that much of a problem, but I have modified the magazines to fit well. And also, if you don't modify these magazines, there's a potential to like kind of break your bolt carrier group. But there's tutorials on how to adjust them, and it explains why they might mess up your SCAR. But I'm not going to go into that because I don't really know exactly why. But the modification is pretty simple. You get a Dremel tool again, and you're going to want to like saw this little area out right here. See how there's this original part? It's on both sides, but you take that out and it'll be fine. And the way to check that it has been modified correctly is this right here is going to be flush. When you put a PMAG in and it's not properly in there, it's going to look like that. So you want it to look right here. That needs to be flush, like that. And then when you do test it, make sure you have dummy rounds or ammunition in the magazine just to check. Otherwise, it's always going to look like that, as if you need to do a reload or something. After doing the Dremel, the little procedure to this, I've noticed that the mags have been falling out a lot easier. I don't know if that's why. Magpul put a statement out recently that, or sometime, that the reason why they don't drop so well is because the magazine well has like kind of like an hourglass shape to it, and that's why they haven't been falling out. But I personally do like PMAGs. They work pretty well. I like having the window, even though it kind of provides shiny anti-camouflage. But I also like having different colors for one color could be like a training, I'll have like dummy rounds or fired expanded cases, so I can do malfunction drills. So I'll keep like the ones I would need in a situation like in one color. Or also when they're all in my kit or whatever, it kind of adds to the camouflage too. It's just kind of a design feature or whatever. The Myad grip also has like these the bottom parts that provide extra storage. This is the stock one that came in the grip. It holds firing pins and 3 extra rounds. I don't know why you would have to resort to getting 3 rounds from here unless it's like a zombie situation or something to off yourself maybe. I don't know. But I have this in here, and this is for batteries, more extra batteries storage. The one issue I have found though, like this fits okay. It's almost like having to do like a magazine reload. but right now it's not waterproof. If I added this to it, I won't be able to put the grip back in, or the storage case, so it stops, but it won't click. I think the reason why is because if you can see in there, there's a screw, and the SCAR's screw is pretty big that holds in the pistol grip, so it actually gets in the way. I don't think it fits too well with this little seal, so I'll mess around with it, maybe get another screw to put in there, or maybe modify this somehow. I might be able to carve out some of this to allow it to fit in there better, but for now I'm just gonna keep this off. So I just got this Sling in today. It looks pretty promising. It's got a really nice padding. It's got a release in case you need to release from the weapon system and not in case somebody's like pulling on it. And it's also got a bungee. I'm not a big fan of bungees, but we'll see how this one works out. Oh, I also forgot to mention the Sling detachment system on this, or attachment system, is from Troy Industries, and it's got a quick detach for the same situation I was mentioning earlier, and it connects on pretty well too. Seems really durable, and it allows the Sling to kind of move freely. And here's the extra back straps for the pistol grip. I personally don't like to. I like to have this flush because my hands don't really fit well with that little notch or whatever that's normally there on regular AR grips. But I don't have the original grip anymore. I gave that to my buddy. But it's like the regular SCAR grip is just a regular AR grip. And the last thing I was going to go over was this battery assist lever that I got. Most people know it as like the bad lever from Magpul. This is actually from Tactical, and they come in different colors. I'm not sure if Magpul does, but I got this because it came in FDE. But however, it doesn't fit the SCAR because this area right here is too thick, and I'm sure the AR is a little bit slightly skinnier. But that's one thing. I don't know if you guys are out there with SCARs or looking into getting something like that, but I wish there was somebody out there that could have explained to me that you can't get it. But I'm just going to give that to somebody as a gift that has an AR. And that's pretty much it. If you guys have any accessories that might be good to put on a SCAR, you know, I wouldn't mind seeing it in the comments, or just any questions in general. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hopefully it was helpful to you.